Good morning. Welcome to NewsWare's Trade Talk for Monday, August 3rd. Okay, let's get into the action. Take a look at the S&Ps, which are trading higher. We're up 0.45%, about 0.5% this morning. The key catalyst was over the weekend, there was a planned attack on Iran. And it was going to be a large attack, a large-scale attack. But President Trump actually pulled back that plan. He's willing to engage in peace talks with Iran. And according to President Trump, these peace talks are going to actually occur this afternoon. Iran doesn't really agree with that statement, but it does look like we're going to be trying to engage in some discussions to kind of lower the simmering tensions in the Middle East. As a result, as you would expect, you're seeing oil prices push lower. On the economic front, the key economic data release for today is this ISM Manufacturing Index. Also want to point out that New York Fed Bank President John Williams had an interview this morning where he basically said that the Fed's current interest rate policy is in line with what he projects will be inflation pushing back down to 2% on an annual basis. In corporate news, AstraZeneca, AZN, they're reportedly holding merger talks with Bristol Myers Squibb, BMY. KKR said they're agreed to acquire ITGR in a $5.7 billion deal. Goldman Sachs updated its conviction list. We got FERG being added to the S&P 500 on August 5th, replacing Electronic Arts, EA. On the earnings front, CNH, Lowe's, and TT Train are trading higher after their releases. After the bell, we got earnings report coming up from Palantir, Clorox, Snap, Williams Brothers, and Non-Semiconductor. And then tomorrow morning, you got Caterpillar, you got Merck, you got McDonald's, you got Spotify, TSEM, all set to report tomorrow morning. Taking a quick look at the European markets, we're looking at the DAX. The DAX is up 1.52% this morning. That's 390 points. Corporate earnings, the drop in oil prices, potential Middle East peace talks, these are the key catalysts that drove the DAX higher this morning. In London, the FTSE is now trading higher. It's up 0.24% or 26 points. It was lower all day. You got to remember, this index is highly weighted towards oil companies and mining shares, and there was some weakness in those sectors. But overall, we're looking at the DAX. It's higher, 0.24%. Then we got the CAC in Paris, which is higher by 1.35% or 114 points, with gains in luxury stocks and industrial stocks helping that market show green. Last night in Asia was a mix. We're going to start off with Japan because it's one of the key catalysts in the market. It finished lower by 607 points or 0.94% with weakness in automakers, various exporters, financial stocks too. But the thing is, the Japanese finance ministry, they confirmed that they had intervened on the yen along with the U.S. Treasury Department. So they're strengthening the yen, which actually hurts exporters. So, you shouldn't be surprised, when the yen starts to strengthen, the Nikkei market starts to pull back, which is what we saw last night in Japan. Hong Kong, on the other hand, finished higher by 124 points or 0.48%. It's about the positive sentiment over the Middle East and declining oil prices. Shanghai in China finished lower by 0.59%. Their weakness in semiconductors, which we're seeing in the U.S. markets this morning. The private sector PMI data eased in July to 50.9, just below consensus of 51.5, and that's down from the previous month of 5.17. So that kind of helped the weakness in Chinese markets. Now we look over at oil, and oil is just weak this morning. We got oil trading down by more than 5%. WTI is at $79.26 a barrel, down 6.39%. Then you got Brent at $83.16, down 5.42%. Listen, President Trump called off that planned attack on Iran and is resuming peace talks. I suspect that June MOU is going to be, talked about and try and put replaced, but there was no real rules behind that MOU, which is why it was signed in the first place. But that could be the basis for any renewed discussions. And OPEC on Sunday, they increased production by approximately 188,000 barrels per day starting in September. Now, most of the OPEC nations, don't have the ability to up their capacity at this time, but the fact that they are upticking the production quotas is negative for oil prices. All right, what else do we have going on? We got earnings. We got MAR. They beat, which is Marriott. Listen, MAR did not have a great report. I mean, stock's down 4.17%. They missed by 11 cents on lower revenue. Upcoming, we got Palantir after the bell. Their EPS is 35 cents. Expected move is 11.38%. We got On Semiconductor, ticker ON. Their EPS is 72 cents with an expected move of 12.80%. On the economic calendar, 9:45 final PMI manufacturing data, but at 10 a.m. we get the ISM manufacturing index. That's the key one. Also at 10 a.m. we get construction spending figures due out. In terms of news hitting the tape, got to talk about Apple. MacBook Air facing shortages amid memory constraints. Netflix dealing with an odd employee lawsuit. A former VP whose behavior at a offsite caused backlash from senior management. I mean, the guy was talking about taking antidepressants, ketamine, and drinking Guinness beer upside down. I mean, yeah, those are things that get you in trouble, guaranteed. There's going to be I don't foresee anything happen with this lawsuit that's going to cause me any worry. Tesla, new car registrations in Europe falling. Spain, and other countries are all showing weaker car registrations. In terms of Dow Jones 30, Disney, Spider-Man movie had a huge opening with up over $300 million. That's like one of the largest box office openings ever. McDonald's set to release tomorrow morning. The EPS is $10. McDonald's is releasing tomorrow morning. Now, let me see what's their EPS here. Their EPS is $3.32. Expected move is $10.12. You got Merck releasing tomorrow morning. The EPS is for a negative 26. Expected move is 4.92%. You got Caterpillar. EPS is $6.25. Expected move is 7.33%. That put call ratio is 1.28 on Big Cat, and Caterpillar is trading lower this morning. Not a good sign as you walk into earnings. In terms of merger news, what do we got here? We got Bristol-Myers Squibb stocks rising on report of a $400 billion merger talk with AstraZeneca. In terms of guidance news, Twist Biosciences sees Q4 revenue $123 million to $124 million. Street estimates had it at $117. That's a big uptick. Marriott sees Q3 adjusted EPS coming in $2.74 to $2.82. Street estimates $2.87. Big downtick. In terms of catalyst calls, Citibank places AMAT on its 30-day positive catalyst watch list. Okay, now we're moving on to our pick of the day. And, I like Cisco, ticker SYY. The fact of the matter, earnings are out tomorrow morning. The EPS is $1.51. Expected move is 4.77%. Friday's call volume, 931 calls versus 214 puts. I like that. Open interest is 34,000 on the call side to 13,000 on the put side. Positive. Major brokers raising price targets like that. I look at today's price action with the stock being 83 to 87. Listen, if I can get an 83.50 or lower, that would be a huge hit. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Cisco SYY this morning as my pick of the day. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the hot stories hitting the tape this morning and see if we see anything exciting. Lone Star Blower acquires Ingersoll Rand. Interesting. Ticker IR. Eli Lilly says FDA grants breakthrough therapy designation to one of their drugs. CNK, Cinemark announces biggest domestic weekend box office. Chevron to expand North American base oils distribution network. Wayfair going to open up first Pennsylvania store in Pittsburgh in 2027. Their earnings are coming out. Macau, July, casino revenue down 8.4%. Hershey's announced a voluntary recall of certain Hershey Kisses products. Yeah, Wayfair's coming out tomorrow morning. Expected move is like $11, $11.50 when they release. That's all I'm seeing this morning. Okay, let's move on into our pick of the day from Friday, which, was very positive. They, basically did what we thought. We went with Palantir on Friday, PLTR. I mean, first off, the stock opened up at 122.34, which is, essentially where I thought it was going to be. But then it fell down to 119 before recovering 119.63 before recovering and closing at 123.06. And you look at the stock today, it's trading 126.17 to 126.24. So, yeah, it beat the 1%. So Palantir Technologies was a win. PLTR, got to take that and be happy with it. All right, traders, you guys know what to do. Let's go out there and make some green today.